Risk management.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something
That
that's
and that
yeah.
I think between risk management and self-management, you've got the trading game.
Well, I'm working on I think I'm doing better at the self-management. Now I gotta get the risk management down. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you too, bro. Welcome back, folks. This
Yes.
is the Weekend Trader Project. We are on week 4, technically, but we are not on week 4 in real
No.
life. We're
Okay.
actually,
We're
we're a little behind. Excuse me while I scratch my nose in an awkward way. We are we're a little behind, like I said. We had Thanksgiving week, and that kinda took us off and some other things going on. So
family
I have a
stuff.
hair on my nose. This is why I'm
Oh,
itching
of
so
course.
much. Excuse me. Life, real life, folks.
He
There's no
does
AI
take
here.
showers, folks. I know he does. I don't know how
Apparently, I'm
often, but
shedding. Yeah. Anyway, we're here. We are doing this together as brothers. We're trying to figure out if we can trade in about 12 weeks. Kind of,
Mhm.
I'm relearning. I'm rusty. My brother Dennis over here is brand new to trading. He's even now has not put on an actual real trade. He's only put on paper trades. So we're trying to start up with low risk so that we can hopefully learn how to trade. And you get to see our journey, whether or not we can pull it off, and whether we crash and burn or not.
Right, yeah, exactly. Crash and burn. Well, hopefully there's no crashing and burning on this flight path. One thing
Hopefully,
I can
yeah.
say is that we're trying to prove that 2 very busy fathers can do a
Mhm.
system that's supposedly designed for very busy people, and so far, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know about you, but I have not been I've not been keeping up. Granted, I'm trying to homeschool 4 kids, I'm trying to run a business, I'm trying to do, another
Yeah,
stuff. So, yeah,
yeah.
busyness is part of the thing. However, I can say that I am getting more disciplined and I'm getting more organized. So this is one thing that this has helped me to do is start to
Lesson.
dial. Yeah, well, I guess you could say that's my lesson for the week is I'm learning how uh to kind of preload my week and get all the kind of busy work done at the beginning so that I'm not focusing. I don't have to focus on that. And it opens up the hours, like
Yeah.
starting starting like
Well,
late Tuesday, Wednesday, it opens up the hours for the rest of the week.
and this is less, obviously, less trading and more just life management stuff. Which, if
Yeah,
you're going to try and fit trading in part time, you're going to have to deal with life management. So if you're a busy
exactly.
dude and or a busy chica,
Juliet.
something like that, then either way, life gets in the way, and you make
Mhm.
time for the things that matter to you. And in this case, I think both of us, one, we enjoy the time together, but also we both want to learn this for the benefit of our families. So yeah, you kind of got to make the time or stop complaining.
Right. Well, the benefit is, well, one of the things is that I can say the training, the 12-week program,
Mm.
that's the part that's really tough to do for me with the time management stuff.
Yep.
The actual physical trades doing using the um the checklists and everything every week,
Mhm.
getting that in, as long as I remember to do it, getting that in is actually quite simple. It's like click, copy, boom. You just make sure all
Yes.
your numbers are set up,
Yes.
so that part is easy. But the mechanics behind it, that's the part that I'm trying to learn, and I'm just not doing so
That
good.
actually gets to my big lesson for the week, which was you do have to be careful on that. Like the system is giving you a bunch of trades every week that you can paper trade or real trade if that's your choice. If that's because I have done some of them real trades, but it's copy and paste. You're putting in these orders and they're automated on the execution, whether or not they
Mhm.
fill. Yeah, if the market does what's expected, then they fill and your entry is taken care of, but also your exits are taken care of. So putting in copy and paste sounds like it's really easy. But what I wasn't reminded of was you got to double check those things. So I received one of the midweek corrections or course corrections or however they want to phrase it. Basically, the market zigged when it should have zagged. And
Mhm.
so, there was a modification to the orders midweek because a different setup presented itself. And again, you don't understand what the setups are yet, but you'll get there. And I went in and did the modification using the copy and paste feature, but in doing so, I had to modify one of the boxes that normally has a formula in there. And so when I did that, I put the order into the platform and the thing just immediately filled because I had messed it up.
Mm.
So I had to I had to take that quick loss. If you ever do that, and I mean, I've done that in the past when I was first learning too, and before there was copy and paste. You know, you put the order in and you do a limit order when you meant to do a stop order, and you immediately get into the trade or get out of the trade when you didn't mean to, and you got to just kind of eat the loss and say, "Whoops." So I'd rather lose $5 over that getting out immediately than potentially lose a lot more just because, oh well, I got in. We'll see what happens. So yeah, that discipline factor of double checking can prevent you from those little paper cuts.
Well, yeah, that's a really good example. Actually, I talked to you about this the other day. Um, is the order entry system. I also saw the midweek, course
Correction.
change
Yeah.
and correction, right? And I saw it and went, "Oh, okay." So I just did what was instructed. I copied and I put it in. I didn't mess with any formulas,
Mhm.
um but I didn't notice it. I didn't notice that I was behind like a bit. So I put in the correction after it was already too late. And it did something weird. It and I told you about it. When it closed, because it did close out
Mhm.
and at a loss, um, it immediately sold the extra shares, like on
Well, no,
margin,
we went
right?
over it. You
Right.
left your old order in place.
That was the error that I made.
So you
I
put in a
left the old.
new close order, but left the
Mhm.
old close orders there. And
Right.
so when the thing fell down more, it hit your old stop losses
Right.
and you went short on
Mhm.
that position. And it ended up actually
Less than
working in your
insured.
favor because that
Yeah.
thing kept tanking. And so
Mhm.
you got a free gimme early
Yeah.
on here to
I
say,
wish it
"Oh,
was real
well, you
money.
made a
No, actually,
mistake."
I'm glad it wasn't real money. I think it was a break even, but
You don't you don't actually wish it was real
no,
money
I
because
don't
that would
actually
have
wish it was. But
got you
no,
in trouble.
it was a good learning experience, and I did come up instead of being in the negative, I came up being positive $44. So hey, that's a winner. Are we
Not
gonna
bad.
do any? Do you have any charts you want to share today, or anything
Um,
like that, or numbers as we
you know,
talk about wins and losses?
let's look at something real quick because I know we were talking about what the market was up to
Okay.
um, previously. I'm going to go since we do talk about. I'm just going to put on the cues and we'll share that. All right, I'm going to zoom in here.
Zoom it in. Okay.
All right, so this is
Now we're looking at the two TQQQs.
just the regular cues,
Okay.
which is I got it nice and
The
big there
unleveraged
for it.
ETF.
The non-leveraged GTF of the Nasdaq 100.
Okay. Hmm.
So we skipped, like I said, we skipped a week. We didn't talk Thanksgiving week, and then we actually didn't
Hmm.
talk last week either.
Right.
But when we last left off, Thanksgiving week, we had seen this drop, and we were talking about the drop and
Hmm.
whether or not we were getting into bear territory and what's going to happen at the support zone we were talking about.
Yep.
Well, uh, it bounced, and this is one of
It
those
did.
things I wanted to share is that a lot of times during these holiday weeks, especially at the end of the year, people take off. They're at the markets. And
Mm.
when they take off, for some reason, it's really common that you'll see a buying spree, but it's a
Huh.
buying spree with lower, look here, look down here. It's a buying
Yeah. With,
spree with
or
volume.
lower volume. Excuse me.
So basically, all the sellers went home
Hmm.
and all the buyers are like, sweet, it's our opportunity. They come in and push that price. And you see it often around Thanksgiving and Christmas because it's a
Uh
short
huh.
week. A bunch of people are on vacation, and you'll see these wild swings the week of and sometimes the week after. Now, this time it has continued on that little upswing,
Uh huh.
and we're back up at a resistance area. If we look at oh the
Yeah.
na-
Yeah. Yeah. I can see.
the
I'm starting to see
The
those
Russell
patterns.
version, yeah. If you look at the
Uh-huh.
Russell version, we're right up back towards the highs. It
Yep.
bounced off of it today. So
And look
that
at the momentum indicators,
and yeah, momentum is
sitting in
slowing
the
down. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
sitting in the overbought position.
but this gov, and we got into some of these trades. We got killed over here in the last
Mhm,
month because of that just short term downtrend, and
right.
now it's rebounding back, but we're right back up at resistance. Yeah, interesting thing that Thanksgiving week turned into this large rally. I don't know. I was kind of expecting it, but that sort of holiday move can be unpredictable. So I wasn't really heavy on it to say, yeah, I'm gonna go all in. But
I think that's a good that well, thank you. That's a good learning lesson for me and for anybody else because you know more about this stuff. But I did notice, like, so back to review a little bit, like learning lessons from a few weeks ago. One of the lessons was I was I was putting in my positions on on the checklist, but I was doing it as if I had only $50,000.
mhm,
In some cases, I did 25,000, which is like, what am I thinking? When we had agreed that we're going to do 100,000, so I was looking at quarter positions or even eighth positions in some cases. So
mhm,
I made some money when I first started doing the checklist
mhm,
for several weeks, but it wasn't much. It was like, you know, I think I was up almost 4,000
right.
after that time period. But when I made the fix was 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, right? I made the fix, changed everything to 100,000.
Mhm.
Uh,
And
I
that was when the market tanked.
everything that I gained, I lost. I went back down to 100,000, which, as it was, I considered it okay. Learning experience, learning lesson,
Mhm,
and I can kind of say, all right, this is like a restart, do over.
mhm.
And this week, well, the week Thanksgiving week and last week wasn't too bad. I had some gains. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Would you say that
I'm
you did
happy.
the monthly? So week 4, where we're at, part
Yep.
of the plan is to do your first monthly review. So is
Mhm.
that kind of your monthly review that you started off? That's kind of a little bit more than a month because you did start earlier than I did
Late September. Yeah.
with putting in those paper trades. But yeah, you had gained a bunch in October, and then in November you had those losses, but
Yep.
it took you back to kind of break even,
Exactly.
right?
Almost exactly break even.
Right.
Almost exactly. So,
So interestingly, I started my month for November was I started this process kind of, I guess, later October, and I skipped some weeks that
mhm.
you didn't skip. So I'm coming in kind of almost fresh. I think I was up a few $100 on the thousand or $100,000 account. And by the end of November, I'm down 3%. If you don't mind sharing real quick, I actually pulled up
I know.
my, well, let me pull it over here. I will zoom in here. There we go.
Yeah. Make it
And
bigger.
again, I hate showing spreadsheets, but like one trade in September, one trade in October at 29th, and then all this was November, right?
Wow.
And
Wow.
I ended up down 3%.
Yeah.
Go listen if you go listen to the boss, you can put us back side by side.
Are you talking about God?
No, not that boss.
Okay. The boss.
The guy who we're following here.
The guy who made the system. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and if you look, he shares his results on a regular basis when you have the weekly paper trades, and he experienced basically a 3% drawdown from his peak because
Really?
that run
Oh,
up
because he's
that we
got that little
saw.
chart too that runs up.
Yes.
Um,
So basically that would make sense since I was trading for the most part the exact same things he was trading.
mhm.
And so my learning lesson for that monthly experience is this is a hard beginning. And sometimes if you're starting up brand new, that's where you end up. You end up in a cycle where the market is hard,
And you might
and
go,
that can really wreck your confidence. And so
mhm.
coming back to this from a long hiatus, like I know this, I've seen this before. I know this is just the beginning. And especially if you're just starting out with a system to have, what did I have? 18 losses and like 4 wins or something like 14 losses and 4 wins. That makes you think the system's not working. when in
Mhm.
reality, it's the market cycle and the system protected me a lot because if I had not had those stop losses in place, it would have wiped me out.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Actually, I've been thinking about this all week. If you have $100,000 and you set your cap and you say, I'm never going to lose more than $1,000 on each trade, how many trades can you make?
1? No, not
You
me.
got, you have $100,000 and you're saying, I'm never going to lose more than 1,000.
Uh-huh.
So how many trades can you make?
I don't know. Why don't you? You've been thinking about it all
How
week.
many losing trades can you make?
Lose I don't know. You do the math. It's late here. You've been thinking about it all week. I've been thinking about it for 3 seconds.
Do the math. All right. Let's share again.
All right, back to the screen. Do the math. Oh, nice. Hold on. Let me make
The
a
math is
cricket
really
wrestling
easy.
here.
You got $100,000, right?
Uh-huh.
If you take away 1,000 on each trade, how many trades can you make that are
1
losing in a row?
in a row? Well, if you
Yeah.
lose a
If
1,000 for
each,
each trade, you can
yeah,
do 100 thou you could do
you can
100
do 100
trades.
trades, right?
Right.
Which is why we don't use the dollar amount for the
I guess
stop
that
loss.
now I know what you meant by your question. I'm like, "What? How many trades?
That's my
How many
question
trades
unclear.
can you
You have
make and still lose?" Yeah. Yeah, you can do
okay, okay.
100 if you
Well,
lose on
maybe
every trade,
let's edit
you
that.
have 100 trades
Brand
that you can lose.
Brandon weren't clear. What's
Oh,
the
not
difference
clear.
if you make it instead of making it 1,000, if you just say, I will never lose more than 1% of my account per trade? How many trades can you make that?
More than well, I guess 100 you could still make 100. You could lose 100 shares, 100 trades, right? If you're never going to lose more than 1%.
Yeah. So I'm going to go
Do I
minus,
need to share the screen again?
yeah, please.
You got
$100,000 minus 1%
minus 1% is $1,000.
equals 99,000. And
Right.
then you go
Well,
minus 1%,
1%.
and now you're at
98.
98. Minus
Okay.
1%, and now you're at 97 and change.
Uh-huh.
But that 1% keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller with your account value.
Right. So it's not
So
$1,000
essentially,
per loss.
yeah, if you make the rule about a percentage loss, you could trade forever with a smaller and smaller account. Now, that's not wise.
I was gonna
But
say, I was just like, are we gonna start talking about
if you've
imaginary
traded
numbers and
five, yeah, if youve traded 500 losses in a row, your system is broke, or
is
your ability to trade that system is broke in some way.
yeah, I
But
think you should be
um,
looking for okay, so why and then we gotta wrap it up pretty quick because 'cause we've already been 25 minutes. Why did you think about this all week?
because I had a string of losses, I had a
Mm,
string of losses, and yet I was only down 3% because I had
true.
controlled those
Yeah,
losses.
true.
Yeah.
So
Whereas
basically
if I had not controlled the losses, or if I had said, well, I'm going to make it $1,000 every time, I would have been down a whole lot more.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry if it was too esoteric.
It's too esoteric, Michael da Vinci.
Anyway, I think we should just move on. We didn't really do a high trade, low trade. I think TSLL was my high. And I think for
Yeah, for
both of
this
us, right?
week, for this
Yeah.
last week, TSLL was the high.
I got the chart up
Hey,
if you want to show it real quick.
okay, hold on just a second. Let me look at TSLL and bring the chart back up.
There it is.
All right. So, yeah, let's look at is that TSLL. TSLL is the leveraged ETF for um, Tesla, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Right? That
Yes.
was a good. That was a. Oh, I was going gangbusters, and then I got stopped out, but I still made a pretty good
All
return
right.
this week. Yeah.
So we got in here on 12/1,
Mm-hmm.
which was a Monday, I believe. No, Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah, that's
Wednesday.
right. It was a Monday.
Yeah. So so it was a really good trade for the week.
Yeah,
Um,
and then it
and
took a
then
dump.
what happened today we had a fall, a
Mm-hmm.
significant fall, still falling, but
Yeah.
our trailing stop came in, so it was still a profitable trade.
Yeah.
And I was,
Quite.
I think
I
for
don't know
both
about
of
you,
us
but
that
I made about $900 because I was
um,
running a half position on that one.
yeah, I think I was running a half position on it. Oh shoot, where'd it go? Where's TSOL? I'm actually. Did you have a position on that before?
No, no. I got in.
Okay.
Wait, maybe I did. Maybe I did.
I think you
Let
you
me see.
did. I
Yeah.
just in this past week, I made it was really only a $200 gain, but it was
Hmm.
a half to a quarter position, quarter to a half position. Anyway, yeah. So, great, good, decent little trade for the week. You keep doing that, and you'll get in. You
Yeah.
keep making base hits, and you end up doing pretty well.
Right. And you talked about. Whenever I go back to the group scene, you talked about doing. What did you say? 14 losses in that time period. 4 wins and 14 losses.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I feel
Um,
like if it was real money, I would be more upset about it. But
yeah, that's true. But no,
I,
that's why I
it,
like
it-
this. That's what I like about the system is that, hey, guess what? I can, um,
yeah,
I can learn without risking anything. I mean, let's see, how many
yeah.
wins did I have? One, two, three, four.
And I was down about the same amount in my real trades, even though I made fewer trades in the real account.
Right,
I was still down about the same amount because of but those were mostly on leverage ETFs.
right. So you had okay. So I all said and done. Um, it was about 12 winning trades and about the same losing trades. About 11. It
Mm.
was 11.
Okay, so you're about 50-50, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm just under
Actually, I might.
20-80 win
Might be
loss.
better than that because some of those positions are still some of those losers are still open.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
they're not losers yet because they
yeah.
haven't stopped down yet. So yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah. I
Well,
mean, so
uh, next week we're talking more about the position sizing. Actually, the course work is about position sizing and risk. So we already
yeah,
kind of talked about it here, but now it's going to get more into the details of why you control that risk and how to control that risk through position sizing. Because sometimes, while you might want to always have the same stop loss percentage, sometimes that doesn't make sense with the chart. So
yeah, yeah. Risk management,
yeah, absolutely.
something
That
that's
and that
yeah.
I think between risk management and self management, you've got the trading game.
Well, I'm working on. I think I'm doing better at the self management now. I got to get the risk management down to.
All right, man.
Okay, okay, all right.
All right,
That's
brother. Thank you very
that's
much.
very good.
Folks, if you want to follow along and see how we do continuing, because of the self management, I think we're going to be much more consistent about getting these videos done and posted so that we're going to be a little bit more on track with the 12 weeks than we have been in the past. And we're going to start posting up more of our own personal kind of where I'm at midweek videos just to say, I'm really frustrated because something happened. It would have been a great one to have when I screwed up the order this week. Um,
Same.
and or hey, we just had a big win and I'm excited, whatever it looks like on a weekly basis. Join us, please. And if you're brand new to trading, leave us a comment, leave us share it if you think it's worthwhile. And eventually, after this 12 weeks, we will get to learning the actual mechanisms of the system rather than just the habits of the trading method.
Yeah, I want to learn how to read the stinking charts with all the weird, candlesticks and stuff. All right, well,
Yeah.
that's all. That's it for today, guys. Thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this with somebody who you want to do this with, and say, hey, let's see how. Maybe you could take bets.
Mm.
Take bets with your friends and see how these guys do. Who's gonna win? No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are we trying to win? I don't, is there a competition now? I didn't know
well,
that.
we're trying not to lose. That's for sure. I didn't say
Oh,
who's
okay.
gonna
I
win
thought you meant
between
between
us.
you and me. Oh, okay.
No, there's no
I'm sorry.
competition.
My kids are always in competition, so I just assume.
Kids are for, right? That's what they like to do. All right. I love you, bruh. I'll see
Love
you
you too,
next
bro.
time.
Get some sleep.
See you.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.